You're sitting on the couch, maybe watching TV, maybe halfway through another endless scroll on your phone. Nothing feels unusual, nothing feels out of place. Then, slowly, you feel it. That strange sensation, like someone's watching you. You lift your eyes, almost without thinking. And there it is, your cat. Completely still, completely silent, its eyes locked onto yours. Not blinking, not moving, just watching, with an intensity that feels almost unsettling. Most people laugh when this happens. Some joke their cat is judging them. Others assume it's just waiting for food, and eventually they look away. But have you ever stopped to ask a more interesting question? Why? Why would an animal choose to spend several minutes doing absolutely nothing except watching a human? Not another cat, not a bird outside the window, not a toy. You. Because that stare isn't random, and it isn't simply instinct. For decades, scientists believed cats were mostly solitary, independent, emotionally distant creatures driven almost entirely by instinct. But the more researchers have studied them, the more surprising the truth has become. Cats haven't been ignoring us, they've been observing us. Your cat probably knows more about you than you realize. It knows what time you wake up. It recognizes your footsteps before you reach the door. It notices when your routine changes and can often sense when you're stressed before you've admitted it yourself. Unlike dogs, cats were never fully molded by humans. They stayed independent, kept many of their wild instincts, yet somehow decided we were worth staying with. That decision created one of the most unusual relationships in the animal kingdom, built not on obedience, but on trust. If you've ever lived with both a dog and a cat, you've probably noticed something immediately. Dogs want to be understood. A wagging tail, excited eyes, relaxed ears. You instantly know what they feel. Cats took a completely different path. They became observers, not performers. Researchers studying feline behavior have realized something surprising. Cats aren't difficult to understand because they're antisocial. They're difficult to understand because they're incredibly selective. Every movement has a purpose. Even their silence is communicating something. To understand that silence, we first need to understand something about the world your cat actually sees. Imagine walking into your living room late at night. To you, the room looks almost dark, furniture fading into shadow, corners disappearing. You hesitate before taking another step. Your cat doesn't. It walks confidently, without slowing down, without a single mistake. A cat's eyes contain a reflective layer behind the retina called the tapetum lucidum, nature's own light amplifier. Instead of letting light pass through once, this mirror-like layer reflects it back through the retina a second time, capturing far more detail in the dark. That's why a cat's eyes seem to glow at night. It isn't the eyes producing light, it's light being reflected back. The result is extraordinary. Cats can navigate in conditions where most humans would struggle to see anything at all. But darkness isn't their only advantage. A cat's visual system is built to detect movement, the tiniest twitch, the slightest vibration, a single flick of a finger across the room. Before you even realize you've moved, your cat has already noticed. For thousands of years, that visual system helped wild cats survive every shadow, every movement, every glance revealing an opportunity or a threat. Then humans entered the picture, and little by little, those same eyes that once tracked prey began tracking us instead. Have you ever opened a bag of treats before making a single sound, and somehow your cat was already walking toward you? Your cat isn't predicting the future. It's predicting you, reading hundreds of tiny behaviors you repeat every day without realizing it. The way you stand before getting up, the way you reach for your keys, the rhythm of your footsteps. Most people never notice these patterns. Your cat does, because observation is its greatest survival tool. And in 2019, One study set out to answer a much more specific question. Do cats actually know their own names? Researchers played recordings of different words, some similar sounding, some spoken by strangers, some by the cat's own owner. Then they slipped the cat's actual name into the sequence and quietly recorded exactly how each cat reacted. The cats reacted, not dramatically, not like a dog would. They didn't come running, didn't wag a tail. They simply acknowledged it. A slight movement of the ears, a subtle turn of the head, a flick of the tail. Tiny, but statistically impossible to ignore. The conclusion was simple. Cats know their names. They simply choose when it's worth responding. For years, people joked that cats ignore their owners. Science tells a different story. They aren't ignoring you, they're making a decision. Which brings us back to that stare. If it isn't random, researchers believe there are at least 3 real reasons behind it. Reason 1, your cat is updating its mental map. Except its map isn't made of places, it's made of patterns. Your schedule, your habits, your routine, updated a little more with every single stare. Which explains something almost every cat owner has experienced. Your cat somehow knows you're about to leave before you've even picked up your keys. It waits by the food bowl minutes before dinner. It isn't reading the future, it's reading you. Reason 2, eye contact can mean trust. In the animal kingdom, prolonged eye contact is rarely friendly among predators. A hard stare is often a warning. So what happens when your cat looks directly into your eyes and stays completely relaxed? It changes the meaning entirely. Instead of tension, there's comfort. Instead of challenge, there's safety. Your cat is doing something vulnerable, allowing itself to stay exposed. That's trust. One of the strongest forms of trust a cat can offer. And sometimes something even more remarkable happens. Your cat slowly closes its eyes, not all the way, just enough, then opens them again. Researchers at the University of Sussex call this the slow blink. Cat owners often call it the cat kiss. It's one of the clearest signs of peaceful, non-threatening communication ever observed in domestic cats, and studies have shown that when humans slowly blink back, many cats respond positively. Some cats blink again, some walk closer, some simply become more relaxed. It's a tiny conversation, one that doesn't require a single word. Reason 3. Sometimes your cat is asking for help. Despite their reputation, cats aren't as independent as we imagine. They simply communicate differently. And something remarkable happened during domestication. Cats developed a language designed almost exclusively for humans. That familiar meow? In many cases, it's meant for you, not another cat. But meowing isn't always enough. Sometimes your cat needs something it doesn't know how to explain: hunger, boredom, anxiety, or something that simply hurts. So it does the one thing evolution has taught it works. It finds you, sits quietly, and waits until you look back. That stare becomes an invitation, a silent request, almost as if it's saying, "Please notice me, something isn't right." The owners who understand this often notice health problems much earlier, small changes in behavior, eating or sleeping that begin with a single look. Paying attention to your cat's eyes may be one of the most important conversations you'll ever have. Because sometimes the quietest messages are the ones that matter most. If everything we've talked about is true, then maybe we've misunderstood cats for thousands of years. Maybe they were never distant, never cold, never indifferent. Maybe they've simply been speaking a language we never learned to understand. Cats notice change. They notice routines, movement, emotions. And when something changes inside the person they know best, they often change too, not empathy in the exact human sense, but something built through thousands and thousands of shared days. Think about your own cat. How many evenings has it quietly watched you from across the room? How many mornings has it greeted you before anyone else? How many times has it noticed things about you that even you didn't notice? Because your cat doesn't need words, explanations, or conversations. It has something much older, its eyes. For more than 10,000 years, those eyes have watched humanity change, while one thing remained remarkably constant: a person and a cat sharing the same quiet space. And maybe that's the real reason your cat stares at you. Not because it's planning something, not because it's judging you, not because it's mysterious, but because you're part of its world, just as it has become part of yours. Tonight, your cat will probably look at you again, maybe while you're reading, maybe while you're making dinner, maybe while you're lying on the couch after a long day. When it happens, don't look away. Just hold its gaze for a moment. Then slowly close your eyes, just a little, and open them again. A slow blink, the quietest conversation two different species can have. You might be surprised by what happens next, because what seems like nothing may actually be one of the oldest conversations on Earth, one that began more than 10,000 years ago and continues every single day inside millions of homes around the world. One silent glance at a time. If this video changed the way you see your cat, share it with someone who loves theirs just as much. Because once you understand what that silent stare really means, it's impossible to see it the same way again. And if you're new to Inner World Pets, welcome. This is where science meets emotion, where we explore the hidden minds of the animals who quietly shape our lives. Subscribe and join us for the next journey, because this is only the beginning.